Kept you waiting, huh? All right, everybody, welcome back to Metal Gear. Welcome back to the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. Now we're doing Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. That's right, we're going back all the way back to 1964. Basically,
I find it cute that the way that they orient these is based off of chronological stuff. Whereas normally, 3 would be to the right of 2.
Yes, Blue Point ordered this via the timeline. Okay, basically, Shiroi, now we're going to see the origin story of Big Boss.
That's right, a character the West barely knew.
Remember the last time we met Big Boss, he was creating child soldiers in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So you're probably wondering, sure, what the hell kind of life did he lead before coming to this? Well, we're about to learn.
How does a monster?
This is the basically, Shiroi. Before we can get to Metal Gear Solid 4, which is the climatic finale of the Solid Snake saga, we're going to start a new saga, the Big Boss saga, which basically tells the story of how Big Boss came to be the character we know in the Solid Snake.
Wild homoerotic, action, I guess.
Sadly, we won't get to see Big Boss's entire story leading up to Metal Gear Solid 4, since we won't be covering
we will see what the fans got by the time.
Well, we'll do those eventually.
Okay, to be fair, Portable Ops came out before 4.
All right, you can just like the remasters for Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, you can have the cutscenes have the original letterbox format, but Bluepoint added a full screen option so they can just fill the entire screen, which I prefer. So let's go with that. All right, so you can choose a new game. I'm playing the Metal Gear Solid series for the first time. I like Metal Gear Solid 1, I like Metal Gear Solid 2, or I like Metal Gear Solid 3. Here's what these options do. If you pick I like Metal Gear Solid 2, the game will start off with a face skin for Raiden instead of Big Boss, but you can change it back in the options if you don't want that. If you pick I like MGS3, it just gives you some extra stuff. If you pick I'm playing the Metal Gear Solid series for the first time, it gives you access to the easiest difficulty mode in the game, basically.
And what if you choose I like Metal Gear Solid 1?
It gives you, if I remember correctly,
Polygonal Solid Snake.
No, I don't think Polygonal Solid Snake is in this one. If I remember correctly.
Unless you play the whole game with PS1 graphics.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you not aware, this is probably the most universally beloved of any Metal Gear game.
Yes.
Yes.
Hold on, Jova. If you pick I like MGS3, which basically implies that you've already played this game before, you get access to the extreme and European extreme difficulties. Basically, Shiroi, the European version, for whatever reason, had an exclusive super duper hard mode that was never released in the other countries up until this HD version, which is weird.
Is it like the Hell or Hell version where you die in one hit?
Basically, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead, David.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
That is true.
James Bond would milk this for decades.
Not just him.
Konami presents a Hideo Kojima game.
Of course.
The Hideo Kojima game for a lot of people.
Starring David Hayter,
Kind of a miracle he's back, but that's a story.
Suzette Minet, Laurie Allen, Neil Ross, and Josh Keaton.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh Keaton.
And look, Jim Ward, aka Captain Quark, and Brian Cummings. James Mathis, Eifert Haley, and Jim Pittock.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off. Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Oh, this guy.
This guy is very British.
Good.
Yeah. If we were doing voice acting for this game, I would be like last time Big Boss, and I would totally have Dwebs be Major Zero. But
and hey, the Fox logo was on the plane.
Well, who's that smoking a cigar there?
Yeah, remember, you'll notice that he's smoking a cigar. Remember, Solid Snake is into cigarettes, not cigars. So obviously this is not our Solid Snake, it's instead Naked Snake.
Although, as you can see, the similarity is very uncanny. Which means out of all these this infantry program, Solid is the one who got all the best G's, apparently.
Yeah.
Despite what Liquid and Soidus claimed.
I mean, that's the thing. They claimed they were better, but let's be honest. They showed for good reason why they were not the true
romantic cigar throw.
Oh, yeah.
And they're really getting the mileage out of these cigar shots, aren't they?
Yes.
And then the cigar accidentally touches the fuel tank and blows.
Basically, Shiroi, while Solid Snake was into cigarettes, Big Boss, well, he's not Big Boss yet. Right now, his name is Naked Snake. Yes, Shiroi. Coincidences, Big Boss's code name when he was an agent was also Snake. In this case, Naked Snake.
Well, they did determine. Remember, the thing that they do say in the early games was that Bad Snake is the code name for the more rookie units.
Which is kind of ironic given Solid Snake's status.
It's all done by the same guy who did the one from 2. I forgot.
Harry Gregson Williams.
Yes, Harry Gregson Williams, yes.
Someone else.
As well as Noriko Ibino, who will do music for all Metal Gear Solid games from this point all the way to Phantom Pain.
Also, from what I've checked, apparently, Jova, song dialogue, I don't know if it's from this early particular cutscene or later in the game, but some of his dialogue got referencing to Mission Impossible Fallout and we failed to notice that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tom is a fan. That wouldn't surprise me at all, because this is exactly the kind of thing that he's into. So
if we ever get live action Metal Gear games, Tom Cruise is Solid Snake. Alright, Tom Cruise as the Snakes in their prime.
Okay, nobody's a bit too old, otherwise I would have preferred him as Raiden.
Tio, despite his age, his looks say a complete different story. Not to mention the feats that man can still perform.
Directed by Hideo Kojima.
I think I get it, game.
But that's the thing. Let's see, Tom's
this is actually important, so debriefing.
Yeah.
Head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous Mission.
Huh, why is a British man high up in the CIA of all things?
They actually will explain it, actually.
I know why, it's just, Dwibs tends to be about authority sticking to their own lanes, but now it's his country invading ours, when you think about it.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
People can't just mind their own business, can they?
No.
Wonderful mission.
Espionage doesn't work that way.
There you go.
Right?
Scientists requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
Now, doesn't this sound a bit
Sokolov.
familiar?
Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
Yuri Gagarin.
It was blue, but there was no God.
Yeah, that's one of his quotes.
The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket.
And again, you're seeing stock footage even of that.
Yep.
This is why the digital version of this was taking away for a while.
I'm the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Yeah, and I mean, have you
A scientist in the Metal
leaders of
Gear
the Soviet
series?
Union? Like,
A scientist in the Metal Gear series fearing his own creation? Must be a day that ends in
The
Y.
family was also to be taken safely to the west.
yeah, that too.
Mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov.
A lot of espionage
Okay.
movies actually talk about trading safely people from the Soviet Union to the West.
Let's paperclip him in.
Still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was
Oh,
only
the
a
western
week
side
later
of Berlin.
something much bigger
Yeah.
than our hands.
Yeah, because the eastern side was...
At this point, the wall was already a thing, if I recall correctly, especially because, yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
The Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles.
Hi, Kennedy.
Yep.
The president demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles.
It is a bit surreal to see historical people actually in a video game like this.
Yo. Nothing
But
bad ever
again,
happens
we
to the
did
Kennedys.
start at home from literally with a shot of Hillary Clinton, so what do I know?
Ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its
A
missiles.
literal miracle. Nobody knows to this day what happened actually to cause this.
In order
Yeah.
to get the Soviets-
Well,
There's a lot
oversimplified.
of speculation about potential prisoner trading.
One where the U.S. agreed
It did heavily amount to essentially, we agreed to remove our nukes from there, and they agreed to remove their nukes from Cuba, essentially.
US
Mhm.
and Russia. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the
There you go, like this game tries to put its own end canon.
Right, yeah, we're doing one of those bouts where actually you see this is not as you know it. This historical fact was fake.
Soviets pulled
Stuff that,
Yeah,
you know...
the entire Cuban crisis was as well because they cared so much about this guy.
What the hell was he working on?
I wonder what special super secret device he could have been working on that would cause us to need a whole game's worth to rescue him. It could be anything in a Metal Gear game.
I wonder what weird
But
giant
this is
machine is.
before the first Metal Gear was born.
eastern side.
Gee.
We're going to cover that.
Save me from my side. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's
And
more,
we know
he was
how
on the verge of-
how gentle those people
So
tend
what
to
kind
be.
of weapon
Yeah.
is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device.
A
For half a
new
year
kind
now,
of
the Soviets
nuclear
have been
device, you
conducting
say?
frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Yeah,
Is Sokolov
like it has to
something
be
that's
important.
Hmm.
According
And
to
keep in
our
mind,
intelligence,
Khrushchev was one of the
we know yet-
better leaders of Russia in terms of morals.
Yeah, he was
Well,
better than
debatably.
Stalin, but he was still a dick.
Cliff.
Oh yes. When I say better, I don't mean he was like a choir boy or anything, but he was the start of Russia
Apparently,
kinda
Russia
getting
feels
better.
But it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
So,
No
all in all,
pressure.
have fun down there.
So that's our mission.
And now it's time for, yes, they literally
Epic
do call it the
falling.
hay.
Oh god, yeah, it
Ridiculous,
is. Yeah, it'd be a bit funny if he was falling, but while he was in the middle of remembering the mission, he just splattered on the ground because he was so focused on that he forgot to open his parachute.
So, okay,
They
so
literally call it the Halo jump.
okay, so basically, sure. After the mixed reception of Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3 goes back to takes a more back to basics approach by doing the traditional go save this person thing that we did in the first two Metal Gear games.
And they're like, don't worry, we won't be trolling you about the main character
Also,
this
a
time.
trigger prompt was there for a
We don't
bit.
get Sokolov back before that
You're
weapon
playing a
is
snake from beginning to
a major
end.
crisis. The clock is ticking.
Would have sucked if the parachute failed.
He's a Looney
Once we
Tunes
confirm the
Jova.
rescue, Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point.
So it's a simple mission. Get in, get the target, get out.
Basically.
Yeah, simple.
Nothing wrong can happen.
Gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
I know that Metal Gear missions have a tendency of going screwy, but this is it. We're finally just going to have a simple mission.
This guy is such an M, isn't he? Am I not right, Dubs? Like his voice, like the way he looks, like this guy just screams M.
Save for that shiner of a scar he's got.
Well, doesn't this whole game kind of take you more from James Bond?
Yeah. This game is basically a big love letter to James Bond, as you're going to see.
I mean, keep in mind, it's been a running extra to get a tuxedo for Snake to wear in these games, so the game was rigged from the start, guys.
Home in time for dinner.
But
Huh.
if anything goes wrong,
You're on your own.
Dinner, breakfast.
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
You might even have to eat snakes at that. Imagine.
Yes, basically. So you're probably wondering, why is Metal Gear Solid 3 subtitle Snake Eater? That's because, Shirei, one of the primary new things that this game does is you have to eat to keep your stamina up. And since
One of the things that gets your stamina up is eating snakes.
not just snakes,
And you're
rats,
like,
rabbits,
Surviving
anything.
what the environment gives. This was okay. Well, not obviously the first. This was one of the pioneers, believe it or not, of the hunger meter survival genre.
All right, time for some history, Shirei. Guess what? Kojima's original plan for Metal Gear Solid 1 was actually to do a jungle Metal Gear. However, he eventually
Those guys.
he did it. There you go. Hold on. Now it's time to take off my mask in as much of an epic and cool slow motion way as possible.
Also, I love how his helmet literally says Metal Gear Solid,
Yeah, hold on.
which
Yeah, I gotta take the thing. Now he takes the mask, okay.
Over dramatic much.
Just
All right.
take off the helmet like a normal
So
person.
here's Naked Snake, played by David Hayter.
again, kind of
but
a
I
miracle
guess-
he's back, but I digress.
But I guess big jungles wouldn't really fit
Yes,
this one.
very good. Basically, Shirei, originally that was the plan indeed, but first we're gonna have a radio call, not codec call, radio call. Because remember, this is before codec. This is 1964.
I think it was before
You copy.
nano machines as
You're
well.
already
Yep.
in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're
Hey.
not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
Billy.
What do you mean?
Fuck.
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
Huh.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant.
I love the banter these two
I
have.
have a
Oh
friend
no,
who
the
went to
ban.
the
I love.
actually.
Fuck that, Jova. I love the banter Snake has with everybody in the radio calls. Go on.
Sure,
Major
yeah.
Tom.
Major Tom.
This
One of my
Yeah.
friends actually went to Tunisia and actually ate
That's like
the
a
snake.
that's like a Monty Python and the Holy Grail bit. Just okay. My codename shall be
kind of
Tom.
information the following-
Tom the Cop.
In other words,
It's interesting
weapons
because
and
most
equipment
Metal Gear
are on
fans
site.
know this guy by another name.
We'll get to
That's
that.
for
We'll
later.
get to that.
Anyway, the reason he's called Naked Snake is because he's completely naked,
I see why you
with
asked.
like nothing to help him.
I suppose calling me Snake was your idea.
So that's where the Snake
No.
code name
Good reason
originated
for that.
from,
I'll tell you later when
guys.
the time
There
is
you
right.
go.
Gotcha.
Because remember, later snakes were called
Remember,
snakes
British
in
people have
honor
no
of.
sense of humor.
Yeah, in honor of this one.
You've been issued a knife. and
Yeah.
tranquilizer.
But we have here Shirei is the original Snake.
You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the
It's
back.
funny, really, how
Lost
people
all
who
the trains.
love
Oh,
and
we
praise
we're
the
off
name.
to a great start.
Yeah, we lost our backpack.
Well,
Hey
go back
Pedro,
and get it.
Yes, Jova.
how funny is it that people of later generations who know, love, and practically live by the name
Stuck on a
Snake
branch.
probably don't know that it started off as a joke from an old British guy who was kind of
Stand
taking
in
the
front
piss
of
out
the
of the
tree that's covered
rookie.
in
That's usually how legends start. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be monitoring your progress.
Yeah, these will work as your tutorial.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, like I was saying, oh yeah, frequency is 1.4. Yeah.
I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need
Hey.
to talk to me, use
So
the
one
send
thing that you'll
function.
notice is quite a change
Okay,
is
Snake,
the
go
level
get your
layout
backpack.
here. Like in most
Yes.
Metal Gear games, you start
a
literally
linear
inside a
progression.
building of sorts.
What we have
Here,
here,
though-
there you go. Like Dwibs just guessed, yes, the original plan, Shiroi, was for Metal Gear Solid 1 to be like this. However, Kojima soon realized that the PS1 wasn't quite powerful enough to handle a big jungle setting, so he decided to put that on the shelf. But then, by the time we got after Metal Gear Solid, he looked at the PS2 and thought, okay, now I can potentially finally go back to that jungle concept, and that's what Metal Gear Solid 3 is. This is where the seeds of what would eventually become Phantom Pain were first sowed. What we have here, Shira, compared to the previous game, is a much more wide and open Metal Gear game that has a lot more exploration, much more wider areas, and therefore a much bigger opportunity for stealth opportunities. Not to mention a whole slew of new mechanics.
You can climb it.
Yeah, you can climb trees now. So basically, Shiro, this game stands a major evolution compared to the previous games.
Your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack.
Like
In the
a kid
survival
going to
viewer,
school.
choose weapons
Yes.
from the backpack. Your available
Always come
weapons will be
prepared.
displayed in a window
To
in
be
the
honest,
upper
Jova,
left.
because in recent events, I seriously hope that a kid going to school doesn't have a weapon in his backpack.
More like a
Other equipped
Pokemon
items,
trainer.
just do the same thing.
Because
Yeah,
if you
that,
don't have a Pokemon, you're kind of screwed. So I would hope that
Yep, that's
adults
right.
give kids something to
Survival
defend
is
themselves
fundamental to
with.
this mission.
Because remember, even
After
if
you've
you're a
been out in
school
the
kid
field
back,
for a while, your
it's
stamina
being
will
a school
start
kid
to
that
Hold
more or
on.
less puts you on the right
Explain the
path.
stamina drop.
Mechanic.
It'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly.
Yep.
Keep an eye
Now,
on your
modern
stamina so
gamers
you don't
might
run
be a
out.
bit worried by this, but
Recover lost
thankfully
stamina,
this
you can
game
hunt
is
for
not
local flora
too
and fauna.
punishing with that.
No. There's plenty of ways you can reestablish your
My
stamina.
only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
That's
That'll
right.
be fine.
Fitted with its own suppressor. However, the
So
suppressor
it's
will
essentially a
deteriorate every
non-lethal
time you fire.
weapon.
Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's
Webs.
durability is shown in the item. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now.
I swear, Shuri, if you had seen Glutes during our Red Flag
I have to
faction
find my own weapons
playthrough,
and put
Yeah, this is very trigger happy
what
when
I'm
playing
talking about.
shooters. So
Solo covert action is a standard
I
Fox
told you
operating
guys they
procedure.
were being
Can't
complicit.
be
and there you
with
go.
your presence.
All right.
Weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation.
so
of
yeah,
international
now you
True,
have to keep
yeah.
in mind where your ammo goes as well when you shoot it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, that can also count as evidence.
Yeah, this could spark international because legally we're not supposed to be here, so we can't let anyone see you, which is why this is once again a stealth mission.
You're a ghost. Snake.
Again, despite how complicated this sounds, believe it or not, this game masterfully makes it
Military and US
not
government
only
deny
not
any
too
involvement.
overly hard, but
Then I'll just have to
actually
take care
it
of
does
myself.
add to the fun factor.
I'm afraid
Indeed.
This
so.
is what extra details in a
Fake
game
death
should do.
pill.
Yeah,
They
these
should
are
make it feel like
important.
business.
Yeah, you've also been given a fake death pill.
Like this one.
It's a
Use either
surprising
potassium
tool that will be
cyanide
important later.
Tape it to your body
Yep.
so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're
I
taken
forget
prisoner
if
by the
that's-
enemy.
Basically it lowers our vital signs so that people will think we're dead.
I'm into thinking that I'm really
Yep,
dead.
so it's a fake
So
death
how do I
pill.
come back
You
to
pop
life?
it, but you
Just
don't
take the
actually
revival.
die.
And then you can just take the revival pill to bring yourself back.
That's the one.
Which,
careful.
I'll admit,
remain in a
part
state
of
of
me when I
false death
first
for
played
too
this
long.
thought, but
Nothing
wait,
will be able to
if
bring you
the
back.
fake death pill essentially
Remember
shuts down our systems,
keep it
how
in
do we
mind.
take the
You
revival
said this
pill
was a
if we're,
solo mission,
you
right?
know...
Right.
I guess that.
Don't think about it.
But yeah, but if you keep up the fake death too long, it will be real death.
Yep.
Real
Yeah.
one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to.
Oh yeah, now we're gonna meet our new support team.
I'll introduce them to you.
Yeah, basically, sure, just like the first Metal Gear Solid, we have a more elaborate support team compared to the second game.
Alright.
Monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with you.
Back when the name Fox wasn't perverted
Little
into
paramedic.
something evil.
Paramedic, she's one of my favorite characters.
As an
She's very
emergency
adorable.
crossing by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
Yeah.
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call
Yeah,
it
you
Jack
fucked
for
up
short.
already.
You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield.
Yeah, this game is a chock full of
By the way-
references.
It's amazing how I'm not hearing the loud engines from the plane that they're on while they're
I wasn't
talking.
joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake. Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you?
Yes, the boss.
Yes, we also have our mentor, aka Big Boss's mentor. The boss. She's just called the boss.
And she's voiced by Pearl from SpongeBob.
Yep.
She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Counting.
You've lost weight.
Let's just say Naked Snake really cares for the boss.
Well, she's her mentor. She's his mentor.
Well, I don't know.
More than that, she's kind of like a mother figure
What's that
to
supposed
him.
mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret
And
mission.
yeah, she kind of went out for milk.
You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No,
Like how to
I
love.
taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that.
And it was
soldier
probably a
needs to be
good
strong
thing
in
she
spirit,
didn't,
body,
as
and
you'll see
technique.
in the
And
future.
the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique.
Depends.
In fact, technique
True,
doesn't
yeah.
even-
It really is about the positives or the negatives of her not teaching him, seeing as how
They're
it
the
works
same
out on
thing.
some things,
I
but
can't
let's
teach
not
you
forget,
how to
he
think.
does go on to
You'll
be
just
Big
have to
Boss.
figure it out for
And he
yourself.
dies by
Listen to me.
flamethrower.
Mhm.
Ouch.
Because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be.
That's
Having
true.
Personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you.
I had to
I
go
already
into the
told
sea
you,
and be
Jack.
the daughter
I
of
was
a
on
crab.
top secret mission. A soldier
Yeah.
has to follow whatever orders he's
And
given.
yes, people have made fans.
Yeah, the boss is very dedicated to her job. And yeah, as she just said, a soldier's job is to do what's asked by his or her government. They're not there to do the political aspect. They're just there to do the military aspect.
Right and wrong have no place in his mission.
Yeah,
Yes,
right and wrong have no
boss
place in
and
here.
friends.
Yep.
Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
Tell that
It's
to
not
that
the
guy
same
from
thing.
Extra Credit.
Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying
And that's
in
not
the
even
West,
golden.
loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the
One thing I
president to the
really
top
do
brass.
like about
I'm
this
ready to
game
die
is
for
that
what's
it
necessary.
does do a very good in-depth
President and
analysis
top
of
brass
what it
won't be there
means to be
forever. Once their
patriotic.
terms are
Some
up,
people might
others will
think,
take
oh,
their
well,
place.
that's just being
I follow
absolutely
the will of
loyal
the
to your
leader,
country.
no matter who's
No matter
Metal Gear
what.
Solid 3
People aren't the
suggests
ones
that
who dictate the
while
mission.
that may be what it appears to be on the surface, there's something
People's
more
values
to
change
it.
Yes.
over time, and so do the leaders of a country.
That is also
There's
true.
no such thing as an enemy in absolute.
This is one of the
terms.
reasons why it is one of my favorite
Are
Metal
only
Gear
enemies
Solid
in
stories.
relative terms,
It is
constantly
very
changing with
thought-provoking and does go to some dark
As long as
places.
you-
And while not at the same level of 2,
There's
you
no
can
point
kind
in
of see
believing
that
in
some of the
anything,
things that the boss is
even in
just
those we
mentioning
love.
are very, very resonant these days.
The only
Without
thing you can
spoiling,
believe
what I
in
do like about the story, though, is that while it
is the
does go to
mission.
cynical places,
Alright.
it does remember to have a good sense of optimism
Snake.
Yep.
as
Oh,
well.
right. Your
Which
code name
honestly is
Snake.
actually a good sum up of Naked Snake's character,
right, the
honestly.
legendary unit
Let me put it
brought
through like
together
this.
to work
You know this guy's
Legendary unit that yeah, the Cobra unit. There you go. Our super villains for this game sure would be the Cobra unit.
Got a legendary hero back in Iraq, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
What?
That's from G.I. Joe, Shiro. Joe was imitating the crime from the cartoon.
All right, as you know,
Basically, the leader of Cobra is voiced by the same guy who voices Starscream from Gen 1,
Yeah.
so yeah, incredibly high-pitched.
as you might remember, sure, ever since Metal Gear 1, this series has always been about fighting super soldiers who have names that look like they belong to pro wrestlers. This game is no different. In this case, it's the Cobra unit.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember the basics of CQC.
Yeah,
I'm
this is important.
definitely-
Close quarters combat.
Braves for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Consider this. The Green Berets, and he thinks he's rusty. That just shows the standards they put these people to.
Supporting you over the radio.
She actually means it because compared to the previous Metal Gear games, there is a bit more focus also on hand-to-hand combat in these.
Yes,
My frequency is 141.
and yes, the boss will give us advice on CQC.
On battle techniques.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice. He actually got a Brit to voice this guy. Because normally they get Americans putting on an accent, but no, this guy is actually from Rochester, Kent,
Wait, seriously?
not New York.
Don't forget.
In Kent, not New York.
Okay, I was about to say.
He means the guy playing Major Tom, Jova.
I know.
I'm sorry, Shuri, could you repeat that?
What if I'm bad at stealth, though?
Problem.
Shuri, that's what the very easy setting is for. The very easy setting makes it very easy to play through the game, I can assure you. I will argue that even people who aren't good at stealth games can very easily play this in very easy, honestly. This is a very easy game when you play on that difficulty.
That's the default pose of an Ikitsnin in combat. One hand has the pistol, the other the knife.
Alright, so notice...
So are you going to be sticking to one difficulty, or are you going to be switching around the difficulty?
You can switch difficulty between games, between a playthrough.
That's what Joe was asking about you.
Yeah, like, are you going to do that for this playthrough?
No. For the sake of
We're not
making...
going to see the hardcore difficulty.
Oh, look, a snake!
Well, I wanted to make the recording process easier on me. Okay, so there, look at that, Shiroi. A snake. So yeah, like I said, the jungle setting is all about survival, like Teo was saying earlier. There you go. See, we can kill a snake, and we can even take it.
Evaporate into ammo.
There you go. And now we have snake.
Sorry, food.
There you go. Now we have snake here, and we can eat it. Snake eater. So we can restore stamina.
I couldn't even see that heckin' snake till Jova said it was there.
That's a good segue, Shiri. A lot of the themes also of this game, also both for animals and for the units, is camouflage.
Yeah,
So-
basically, Shiroi, I'm in the jungle, so obviously green clothes would be good to camouflage myself in the jungle. So as you notice in the top right corner, Shiroi, notice that 10%. I don't know if you can see it. That's your camouflage percentage. The more you mesh with the more your clothing meshes with the environment, the higher that value will be. And the higher it will be, the harder it will be for enemies to see you. So once again, expanding this stealth gameplay. Now we can camouflage ourselves to make it even harder for enemies to see us.
It's like I said during our Metal Gear Solid 2 playthrough. If there's one thing that just got consistently better with the main series,
It's the gameplay.
With each
No, the
installment.
gameplay just keeps getting better and better and better. There you go, a giant anaconda. And we also have 2 calorie mates.
Like I
Absolutely
said,
delicious.
one of my friends here in my country actually went for a while in Tunisia, and among other things, he actually ate a snake.
Hold on, Teo. Let me show you this. Alright, so here's the camouflage menu. You can choose your face paint, because your face paint will also make it easier. Okay, notice those numbers there. The game will make the process easy for you. Oh, look at it, there's a mask. Oh, this mask. This mask looks familiar. Okay. Notice those numbers. No, it's right. The point is.
Oh no, Snake! Don't do that.
Look! Look! It helps if you're in a dark cave. Okay, it's not racial. It's just a color. Come on.
And hey, we even have flags.
Yeah, we can even do the flags. Here's the Union Jack.
Well, now you're getting shot on sight.
Here's the French flag.
Yeah, walk around that in Britain.
The German flag, the Italian flag.
Oh, Serpente Solido, I guess.
Yes. They have the Spanish flag. The Spanish flag.
How about the Welsh flag?
The Sweden flag. There is no Welsh flag. Sorry, Shirei.
I get the idea of the.
Oh, but we have Japan.
Yo.
What about Portugal?
It literally turns
USA.
his face into a target. Of course.
America, fuck yeah. Anyway, yeah. Notice those numbers. It also this is a -5 or or a +5, or in this case, +20 or +15. So the game makes it very easy for you to tell. If you want to just quickly get to the most camouflage possible clue you can have at one point, just look for the one that has the highest number of plus on the right. So the game makes the process of camouflaging yourself very easy. You don't have to look. You don't have to.
Remind me. Do they?
Hold on. You don't have to look at individual numbers. Just look for whatever is the highest number, and if you just want to stay as camouflaged as possible. Go on, Joe.
Remind me. Do they shift the values based off of which level you're in?
Yes, yes, that's what the camouflage system is like.
If you forgot, the series had a military consultant, so all of these camos that you see are legit.
And guess what, Shira? You can also choose to go naked.
Yep. In case you want a bit of fan service.
Yes, so that way all the Snake fangirls can it's nice to throw something to the fangirls. So
and hey, that's his title, a naked snake.
Yeah, well, yeah, he is Naked Snake, so it fits. All right, everybody, tune in next time where we start our mission proper.
See ya.
See you then.